Hello everybody. I got a lot of phone calls, or my office got a lot of phone calls in the last couple of days regarding the new critical skills list. And I just thought maybe give my personal opinion about the new list on some changes which are important and I think are maybe not to an advantage. So let me jump right in. So the new list has 101 occupations. The old list had roughly 170, so roughly 70 job titles or job descriptions have been removed, so the new list is definitely shorter. On the good side, the job descriptions or the occupations are better described because they follow the OFO codes and there are very, very clear descriptions for the job titles. So I think that's really good because obviously the better described, the less uncertainty, and usually that means more legal certainty, so that's a good thing. I do think that engineers and especially also the IT field is well represented. There's lots of opportunities there. There are some opportunities for corporate general manager and a couple of other professions, but overall I do think that the critical skills list has omitted quite a few very, very important professions, and I come to that a bit later. Well, that kind of concludes the good things. So you can see already in the timing of this contribution here that the bad things probably outweigh the good things. And so let me start with that. A massive change for a lot of applicants is that the Jobseeker fell away. I don't agree with that at all. I have lots of predominantly young applicants who come to South Africa. They have critical skills, they have studied with a master's degree, etc. And then they come to South Africa and have a year basically to look for a job, right? And that's what was possible under the old list. Now they have done away with that. Everybody needs to have a job offer, and we all know that it's very, very difficult to obtain a job offer sitting overseas. That's why this job seeker option was really competitive in terms of international markets. And we must remember, I mean, these young people nationally, they can go to a lot of countries where the sun shines and where it's nice and exciting. And if South Africa really wants to attract international talent and young talent, then, well, they need to be competitive with other countries internationally. And the job seeker was very attractive, but they have done away with that for reasons we don't really know. What they also have done away with is that foreign students of subjects which fell into the critical skills list, they were able to apply for permanent residence after finishing university, right? So, and obviously once you apply for permanent residence, you get granted permanent residence, you pretty much have access to the local job market. So this has been also cancelled. This option doesn't exist anymore. So foreign students who graduate in critical skills subjects would now also have to find an employer and then comply like any other applicant with the requirements of the critical skills. So again, maybe making it slightly less attractive for international students to study in South Africa, which, you know, we have the best universities in Africa. So I'm not quite sure why we are sabotaging the attractiveness, especially to African students, of South Africa as a student and education location. And I mean, fact is, once we educate them, why don't they enter the job market here? I mean, they pay taxes here, they transfer skills, they're needed people. So why do we make it, you know, more difficult, okay? However, they can still stay here. They must just comply like any other applicant. So we must remember that, but they don't have a fast track option anymore. Also, from the new critical skills is removed are the PhD graduates, okay? Formally, if you if you passed a PhD at the South African university, you're automatically qualified for critical skills. This has been removed. This was already intended on the draft critical skills list, so this is not a big surprise, but again, makes it a little bit more difficult. Then let's go to a couple of professions having been removed before I come to the big change, which I'm not agreeing with. Nurses, general practitioners, pharmacists, veterinarians, all have been removed. If you're in marketing or in sales positions, you were hopeful looking at the draft critical skills list. Unfortunately, all these positions have been removed. Trades, hardly any tradesmen is on there. No plumbers, no joiners, no carpenters, no plasterers. They all have been removed. So that's, I think, disappointing. Yeah, and then obviously a major change, really, I think also very, very problematic, is the increase in the required NQF level. Most positions do require now an NQF level 8. There are some positions still requiring NQF level 4, particularly the call center or contact center industry, and then some technicians requiring a NQF level 6, but most positions require 8 or 9. Okay? And some of these positions, for instance, the corporate general manager, if you have 40 years experience or 30 years work experience, you might have even have studied because it was a different generation. So they would have serious problems to renew their visas or apply for permanent residence, right? So I find this quite problematic. Obviously, a country can try to attract the highest qualified people they can try to get. But I do think that the NQF level 8, which is equal to an honors degree, is quite demanding for quite a few of these professions. Okay. And then lastly, the one which really upset me probably the most is that initially we thought that you can apply for permanent residence based on the old list. There is a directive number 1 of 2022, and the point number 5 basically read that you can apply for permanent residence if you're a holder of a valid critical skills visa issued under the old list. That's pretty much the wording. So, we spoke to some colleagues in the industry, and everybody kind of said, no, this kind of indicates you can apply for permanent residence based on your old visa, because also we thought it's fair, because for 2 years permanent residence was closed. And for 2 years, people who qualified could not apply for permanent residence under the old list for 2 full years, right? So we reached out to Home Affairs to get this confirmed end of last week. So first week in February, basically, they said, yeah, that's correct. So you can actually apply for permanent residence based on the old list. This has changed. Okay. Subsequently, apparently, the legal department within the Department of Home Affairs has advised that the permanent residence applications must be submitted according to the new list. And that causes all kinds of questions. And that's really, really disappointing, because you're penalizing people basically for the 2 years where permanent residence was closed. And fact is that a lot of people who have been here for 3 years on critical skills visas, they do not qualify now anymore. They cannot really extend it, and they cannot apply for permanent residence. So a lot of highly skilled people cannot renew their visas or have no path to permanent residence. So I mean, yes, we have a high unemployment rate, but if you want to grow the economy, and if you believe that there is a skills shortage, which a lot of people say and a lot of experts say, and there's lots of data around this, then I think politically this is completely the wrong move, and it sends completely the wrong picture. It might be politically kind of justified looking at municipal elections, but that's not what the economy makes it grow, because the real data and the real science speaks against these decisions. Anyway, that's it from my side on the politics. If you have any questions, please contact us, and I hope you found this piece useful. Bye-bye.